6. However, not all these athletes' commissions are compliant with the IOC guidelines relating to the creation of an athletes' commission. The IOC EB has decided to propose an amendment to the charter for the session in Tokyo, clarifying that athlete representatives must be included in NOC General Assemblies and NOC Executive Boards, and that such athlete representatives are elected by the NOC Athletes Commission that each NOC must establish in accordance with the guidelines issued by the IOC Executive Board. The IOC to communicate to all NOCs that such modifications to the Charter proposed to the session will be proposed to the session July 21 for approval, and if approved, NOCs must establish an Athletes Commission that is fully compliant with the IOC guidelines prior to the end of 2022. The IOC Athletes Commission and IOC administration continue to work with NOCs to help them establish compliant athlete commissions. That's to say, athlete commissions that are fully compliant with those rules. This is fully aligned with Olympic Agenda 2020+5, which specifically aims to strengthen effective athlete representation across the Olympic movement and to ensure athlete participation in all decision making. And one other decision amendment to the Charter, which I think you know about but was confirmed today. New wording will be proposed for the Charter. The Olympic motto, faster, higher, stronger, together, will be the change. It expresses the aspiration of the Olympic movement. It is the adaptation of the original motto, of course, in Latin, that now will translate, when approved by the session, into Citius, Altius, Fortius, Communitaire. A couple of service messages for some of you. Medal reallocations. We approved medal diploma and medalist pins reallocations in 5 events from London 2012 and Pyeongchang 2018. I won't go through the full list of athletes involved. I'll just tell you that for London 2012, it was weightlifting men's 69 kilogram, weightlifting women's 69 kilogram, weightlifting men's 94 kilogram, and women's javelin throw. That's from London. And from Pyeongchang, it was cross-country skiing men's 4x10 kilometre relay. And of course, as ever, all the details will be on ioc.org. Similarly, changes of nationality for you, which will interest some depending on where you're from. Anna Bashta in fencing will move from Russia to Azerbaijan. Mr. Joseph Champness in football from Australia to New Zealand. And Mr. Omar Gegli Salim in taekwondo from USA to Hungary. And as usual, the EB granted the requested exemptions to the 3-year waiting period, followed by the approval of the IF and the respective NOCs, and thus confirmed their eligibility to represent their NOC at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, of course, subject to qualification. The IOC also decided today, the EB, that the international federations concerned may immediately reallocate any sporting quota places won by athletes from the DPRK for the Olympic Games Tokyo to other NOCs in accordance with the IF's published qualification systems. That's any places from North Korea. This decision is taken now to respect the interests of athletes who are the next in line and cannot wait any longer in their preparations, obviously. One other news before we come to the Refugee Olympic team. 2 IOC members have announced their resignations for personal reasons. Prince Frederik, Crown Prince of Denmark, and athlete representative Kicken Randall have both written to the President. The IOC EB today recognised their decisions. In his letter to the IOC President, Prince Frederik thanked the IOC, saying, and I quote, "I can say wholeheartedly, it's been a privilege and an honour to serve under the Olympic flag." Kicken Randall, who's asked to remain a member of the Sustainability and Legacy Commission, wrote to the President, "Unfortunate and unforeseen personal circumstances have made it difficult for me to contribute the energy and attention necessary to fulfill my IOC role at a level consistent with my values. I wish you and the IOC all the best in continuing to inspire the world through the positive values of Olympism." Okay, let's move on to IOC Refugee Olympic team now. You've hopefully seen the announcement of the IOC Refugee Olympic Team Tokyo 2020 with 29 athletes being named in the team. Unfortunately, as some of you may have witnessed, the announcement ceremony had some technical issues, and that was due to the same global internet outage that affected a number of other organizations, Google, Amazon, and so on. Those who are interested can watch the ceremony on olympics.com. And please note the background footage on each of the 29 athletes selected is available on the IOC newsroom at iocnewsroom.com. To look back at this very important milestone, I'm joined in this briefing by two athletes, Yusra Mardini, who many of you will know from Rio 2016, who competed in swimming. She's from Syria and still training in Germany. And new for Tokyo is Abdullah Sadiki. He'll be competing in Taekwondo in Tokyo. He's from Afghanistan, currently living and training in Belgium. I should say that also with us to answer some of your other questions, James McLeod, who's the IOC Director of NOC Relations and Olympic Solidarity, and Anne-Sophie Thillot, Team Press Attaché, who will be your first point of contact when it comes to any interview requests with athletes now and, of course, during the Games as well. Anne-Sophie is herself an Olympian. She competed in Beijing in sailing in 2008. But before we go to questions, and I'd like, if we can, to take your questions on the Refugee Olympic team first, so I can then release the athletes to get on with their training and the rest of their lives. But first, let's hear from James McLeod for a few introductory remarks. James.
Thank you very much, Mark. And well, I can't see you, but it's good to be back here just to give you a bit of an update on the Refugee Olympic team. And we had the honor to be able to present composition to the IOC Executive Board this morning. And the IOC Executive Board, as you know from the press release, approved 29 athletes, 20 coaches, and 15 team officials to be part of the Tokyo Refugee Olympic team. We're very excited about this. It's been many years of work with Olympic Solidarity, with the different international federations, with a number of host NOCs to come to this composition and to have as many sports represented as possible. Indeed, there'll be 12 sports in which refugee athletes will be competing in Tokyo. Just a couple of points that I wanted to raise here is what is going to happen from now until Tokyo. First of all, we will be taking the athletes at in the middle of July to Doha as the first time where the team will fully meet and get together. And we have what we call a team welcome experience there. We've got a lot of support from the Qatar Olympic Committee, and we'd like to thank them for that. They will be regrouping the team members. There'll be team building, the briefing. We'll be briefing them on all the COVID countermeasures that are applicable through the playbooks for Tokyo 2020. Anti-doping education, medical controls, media training, etc. will happen in Doha. From there, they will be traveling to Japan, where they will be staying at the Waseda University. And we have organized that in collaboration with the Japanese Olympic Committee. That will be their holding camp while they are in Tokyo. And they, in full respect of the playbook and the period of stay guidelines for Tokyo 2020, they will only be moving into the Olympic Village 5 days before their competition and be leaving 2 days afterwards. That's up until Tokyo. A lot will also happen after Tokyo. We will continue our support to these athletes and indeed to refugees across the world through two ways, mainly through Olympic Solidarity for everything that is elite support. So scholarships will continue up until Paris. And you'll have seen in Olympic Agenda 2020 +5 that we have already indicated the work should be carried out for participation of a team in Paris 2024 and the Youth Olympic Games in Dakar in 2026. There'll be scholarships available, athlete career transition available, online courses, and indeed also something that has been very interesting is how much the international federations have been working towards creating their own programs of support towards refugee athletes. So that's all very exciting on that side. And then I can't finish this without mentioning our ongoing support through the Olympic Refuge Foundation, which was created in 2017 following the Rio Games, which really has the ambition of 1 million young people affected by displacement to have access to safe sport by 2024. A very important initiative for the IOC and for the UNHCR to have set up, and it's something we really hope will grow as a foundation over the next 4 years. So, Mark, that's...
Thank you very much, James. Okay, we'd like to, as I say, ask for questions first about the Refugee Olympic team. Let me just, as I say, I have Yusra and Abdullah, and you can ask them questions as well. Let me first just fire a question at Yusra, who, as you know, competed in Rio 5 years ago. But Yusra, you were clearly moved in the ceremony today. I mean, tell us what the second participation feels like. Is it as exciting? How different is it?
To be honest, 1 year ago, I did not even imagine that everything will work out and that the Olympic Games will happen. I was very, very frustrated when the Olympic Games got postponed, but obviously we kind of worked all together to make it happen. So yeah, it was pretty emotional to me today in the morning because I always look back at the stories and at each one of the athletes and what they've been through. And it, to be honest, inspires me to see that each one of them and myself as well are working hard to follow our dreams and to make it happen. So that's why it was very emotional to me. And also the videos that the IOC made were very, very emotional. Yeah.
Great. Well, we look forward to seeing you in Tokyo. And Abdullah, this will be obviously your first time. You've been practicing Taekwondo since you were 8, I'm told. What are your expectations? What do you think it's going to be like in Tokyo?
Yeah, it's like I feel excited. It was not easy for me. I couldn't believe till now also. But yeah, I try my best. I will do everything to Olympics, and I want to show people around the world and refugees can also achieve the goals. Yeah, it's my goal.
Lovely. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for joining us. If there are any questions, if you could indicate, and we will move to questions. I'm just looking across to my colleague here. You have to indicate on the right, I think, that you raise a hand if you want to ask a question. And I'm just give you a beat. Yep, we have a question. And it's none other than Liam Morgan from Inside the Games. Liam, thank you very much. Your question, please. Can we have Liam up?
Hi, Mark. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Liam. Yeah, thank you very much.
Can I ask a question about the refugees to James, please? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
About the refugee team?
Absolutely.
James, I noticed there's been a lot about gender equality at the Tokyo Olympics, but the refugee team, there are, I believe, 19 men and 10 women. I was wondering whether gender equality was ever factored into that and whether you had preferred it to be 50-50 split. Thank you.
Thank you, Liam. In an ideal world, yes, of course, we would have preferred that. We're not, especially when we're dealing in cases such as the refugee crisis, we don't have that luxury. And we would have liked to have had more female representation, but it was certainly a criteria in the decision-making on the composition of the team, in addition to sporting elements, in addition to geographical representation. We wanted to have a composition that was reflective as much as possible of the global refugee crisis at the moment. And yes, we would have liked to have had more female athletes.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Hiroki from Asahi Shimbun, I think is the next question. Hiroki?
Thank you, Mark. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Yes, I have questions to the athletes. So, how do you feel about the significance of the Olympic Games during this COVID-19 pandemic?
Yusra, do you want to start with that? And then I think you were saying you almost weren't expecting to be here. So what's the significance of the Games for you?
To be honest, I think it's a symbol of hope to everyone. I think it's a sign of us, standing together, working towards our dreams. Because obviously we were all affected by COVID and by what happened last year. I really did not imagine that the Olympic Games will happen this year, but all of us athletes were hoping for it to happen because we've been working towards it our whole lives. So yeah, we're very thankful for the IOC and for Japan for actually making it happen, and we will definitely make sure to stay healthy, to stick to the rules, and obviously we're very, 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 very thankful for being there and taking a part of it.
Thank you, Yusra. And Abdullah, I guess training at the moment is not so easy. How are you looking forward to this delayed games?
Yeah, for me it's the same. It was not easy to hang out, like to do good preparation for Olympics, because we had no competition, no good training. Even if we cannot go to training in our center, it was not easy. But we just keep hoping and try our best to be part of Olympics one day. And yeah, we just keep training outside, sometimes inside door. Yeah, it was not easy, but now I think we are in good situation now.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Tokyo, in fact, to Wakako. I think I see on the line. Wakako Yuki, are you there? Wakako, hello. I can see you.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Good. Question to Yusla. Hello again. Good to see your face. You just talked about hope. What is your thoughts? There are so many people facing ordeal in the world today because of the COVID. In a sense, they are displaced, many of them, within their own society. What is your message now? What would you like to say or send message to the world by participating in the games? And also, could you also share with us how difficult was it for you to prepare in Germany ever since last year? Thank you.
Thank you. I think what I can share with the world is that, so at the beginning when everything happened with COVID, I was asking myself, why is that happening to me? I did not realize that this is happening to the whole wide world. And then I realized this is not only about me, this is a pandemic. And then I realized that if I don't work with my teammates, with my coach, with the people of Germany, to make it work again, to wear the masks, to stick to the rules, this will not happen. So to be honest, it's amazing to see how the world stood up together to fight this pandemic. And by being at the Olympic Games, I think we athletes are sharing a message of, you know what, we're not giving up. We want to work really hard for our dreams. And obviously, it was very, very hard for us the past year because we're not used to not going to training camps, not having any competitions, as Abdullah said, not competing. You don't know where your level is right now. We had to stay at home and train at home for 3 weeks, and for a swimmer this is not very possible because we need the pool, and without the pool, I had also as example, I've been twice in quarantine, which is 15 days, and this mentally it was really, really hard to come out of it. But then remember, if an athlete won't come out of it, who would? So it's really great that sport always teaches us to be patient, to never give up, and to show people that by going to the Olympic Games we can actually stand together, because obviously of the Olympic values and so on. So I'm very, very thankful for it all to happen and that we all work together on that. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Yusra. Let's go to South China Morning Post. It's Nazvi Karim. Nazvi, you can ask your question, please.
Can you hear me?
Please go ahead.
Okay. This is a question to Yusra and Abdullah. Basically, the Refugee Olympic program is to raise awareness for 80 million displaced people around the world. How blessed do you feel that you are taking part in the Olympics when there are many who might be, talented sportsmen or women, wherever they may be, who are unable to do this? How blessed do you feel? Thank you.
Yusra, do you want to start with that, and then Abdullah maybe say how you feel about representing 80 million refugees?
I mean, to be honest, first of all, I think we're all in our 20s, so it's a huge responsibility to all of us that we are representing, as you said, almost 80 people around the world. I personally feel very, very blessed and very, very lucky to be a part of the team. And sometimes it's a lot, to be honest, to take on. And sometimes it's just like, I want to be a normal teenager or a normal person. But then I remember that this small team, is representing so much hope, not only to refugees, but to lots of young people around the world. That's why we work hard, and we did not start doing sport now in those countries we came to. We've been working hard since we were very, very young, and again, we are very thankful that the team is bigger now. And in Rio it was only 10 athletes, and now it's 29. So this is something negative and positive at the same time. We in an ideal world, we would not have to have a refugee Olympic team, but this is the situation right now, and we hope that we are inspiring people all around the world. And as I said, in the end, I am only 23, and I'm hoping that I'm doing the best and to try and inspire people around the world.
Thank you, Abdullah, from originally from Afghanistan. How do you feel about representing all these people?
Now, like, I feel they put something in my shoulders that it's my more responsibility to play a good in the Olympic Games, to all people, all young people that they disappoint now. They are like to stop, like Yusra says, someone of them don't stop the training, stop sport. It's really a good example. If we go and do our good job there and good participate there, I think that will be very good for them for next coming years, for next Olympic. It will be okay. I think it will be really good for them.
Thank you very much. And as James pointed out, the Olympic Refuge Foundation is also working. The plan is to reach 1 million refugees, displaced people, and give them safe sport by 2024. So it's, the refugee team is very, very important part of the whole strategy, but it's not the only part. And that I think it's worth kind of considering all of those aspects as well. So let's go now to BBC and Alex Capstick. Alex, your question.
Hi, thanks, Mark. Questions to both, actually. Yusra, first of all, could you just talk about how life has changed for you since you competed in Rio 5 years ago now? And to Abdullah, could you just talk a little bit about how you became a refugee, your journey from Afghanistan, and how you got into Taekwondo? Thank you.
Abdullah, should we start with you, and you can talk about your kind of journey from Afghanistan and how you managed to get into the team? That probably would be a good start. Yeah.
Yeah, it comes when I was a kid. I was always dreaming about the Olympics, about the big games, and yeah, when I was there, my situation was not good there to compete in the Olympics or. Imagine like one G1 competition. It was not easy for me to go there for competition. Then I start to leave my country, and I came here, and I see and I met some good people that they can help me, and they uh, trust me to be part of the Olympic now, part of the Olympic team now.
Great. And Yusra, I think the question was, how has your life changed since competing in Rio 5 years ago?
To be honest, I would have never imagined that my life would turn out this way. I came to Germany. I was searching for obviously a new chance, and I immediately searched for a swimming club because obviously this is my passion since I was young. And after that, I obviously competed at the Olympic Games, and since then I have a huge role. I'd say my dream is not only my dream right now. It's I have lots of people, watching what I'm doing. Lots of young people following up what I'm doing. So it's kind of a huge responsibility. I have a voice to represent millions around the world. So this is a pleasure to me. And obviously, from the swimming side, nothing changed. I'm still working hard, training hard, and obviously, the Olympic Games is always and will always be my dream somehow. So I am very happy to be a part of it again.
Thank you very much, and I think everyone will join me in thanking Yusra and Abdullah, and wish you good training and wish you a good Olympic Games in Tokyo in a very short time period from now. So good luck. Thank you very much. We will let you go because we can move on to a few other questions, but thank you very much, and good luck to the whole team. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's move on. I think there's one other question at the moment. Let's go to, and it's Liam Morgan. Liam James Morgan. Liam James Morgan, your question, please.
Hello, Mark.
Yes.
I can't actually hear you.
Can you hear me now? Liam, it's your question, please.
Can you just confirm with Keegan's resignation from the IOC Athletes Commission, will another athlete be elected in Tokyo to replace her? And secondly, quickly, if I may, on North Korea, when did the IOC officially receive notification that North Korea wouldn't compete? I assume that's the case, given you told federations to reallocate quota places. Sorry, thank you.
Liam, thank you for that. I'll take the first one and James the second one. So on a replacement for Kikan, there is a meeting there's a report by Princess Anne, who chairs the membership commission on Thursday. So we should get some more details on eventual outcome on Thursday, if you could wait for that. On DPRK, I'll pass over to James.
Thanks, Mark, and good middle name, Liam. Just on DPRK, you may have noticed back in April, they held a General Assembly where the question of the participation of the team in Tokyo was discussed, and there was a decision at that time by their General Assembly not to participate. The problem was they didn't really inform us officially at that time, and so since then we've had a lot of ongoing discussions with them to get to the bottom of the reasons, but also to offer them as many assurances as possible, because we would certainly like 206 national Olympic committees and their athletes to take part in the games. It got to the point where we had to make a decision on the reallocation of the qualified places, because we do not want to jeopardize those places for other athletes that are waiting for that reallocation. And so there was a decision today by the executive board to do that reallocation. So there's no specific moment where they say we're not coming. It's part of a whole discussion that we're having with them over the last few months. But today we did need to reallocate those sport places for fairness for the other athletes.
Thank you, James. I don't know if we have a technical problem there with the sound, but okay. I hope not being able to hear James didn't spoil your enjoyment of his answer. I don't know where we got to in the answer, to be honest, but Liam, can you hear me?
Yes.
Did you hear James's answer to you?
I didn't hear anything from you or James, but it's working on the YouTube.
Okay, so James,
I checked on the YouTube.
would you like James to run through that fantastic answer once again for you?
I'm sure it's on the YouTube thing.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
I caught
It
the
is.
end of it. Yeah, I caught the end of it. So
It is.
thank you.
You know, if anything, it's much better on YouTube, and even the box set is pretty good as well. Let's go to, I think that might be the last question. We did have Carlos Groman, if you're there, but otherwise, I'll give it a beat just to see. No, I think that's it. Just to remind all of you then, on the Olympic refugee team, which refugee Olympic team, which there is a lot of interest. We of course have Anne-Sophie Thilo, who is happy to liaise with you and is the best contact for you. And we have material, background, and video on all of the members of the team, all 29 members. So by all means, please do get in touch. It is a great news story. So I hope you're interested in that. Otherwise, I think I will be back here again tomorrow. Sorry to disappoint, but the president will be here on Thursday, so you can save all your tough questions for then. Thank you very much, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.